What's up, everybody? I think we might be finishing off the igloo base today, and all we have to do is run the lighting on the inside and paint the interior walls. And I think we're going to do a little bit of cleanup on the outside, take care of some of this terrain color, the construction gray, and turn it back to these natural colors here. Um, but last episode, I mentioned I was going to do a little bit of prep work before this one to try to figure out my game plan. So let me show you what I did. First things first is I mounted all the power stuff on the ceiling. It's probably overkill for what I'm going to do with this base, but I have 4 RTGs. I think 2 of them were left over from, like, they were just on the shuttle, but I decided to go ahead and bring them in. And I have 2 small batteries, and I also threw the oxygenator up here just to get it out of the way. So long as the oxygenator is on somewhere on the overall circuit, everything that's connected to that circuit will have oxygen coming from it. So next, I have some extenders running down this back part of the dome, and they are embedded in the wall. The dome wall thickness is thick enough that I was able to embed these so that I can hide them later on. I left these bits open to show how they're placed, and when we get started today, I'll go ahead and cover them back up to finish that off. Then the power comes down to meet this splitter that's in the wall. So the splitter, the only purpose for it is to divide the power between left and right sides. I won't be toggling it to provide one side more power or the other. It's really just there to split the power equally to reduce the number of cables coming down from the ceiling. And so you can see here how I have the cables coming out of the splitter going to an extender that's buried in the ground, and that's really just for a little bit of cable management to make it cleaner. But again, I left this open to show you how it's the power's run. So if we go down this side here, at the very last platform, all the power connects to this extender that's embedded in the wall and acts as a power outlet for the exterior lighting. This will not ever be toggled, so I didn't feel the need to have any light switches. But if we look down this side, the power runs down to this extender, which the only purpose for this is to act as a light switch. So if we, and up here I've started the lighting, but if we zoom out a bit and open up this extender, we can toggle the lights on and off. In previous builds, like in early access, my light switches were a pair of small platforms where I would have a small battery, and I would just move the battery between the platforms to activate the power. And but I decided I'd actually go for something that's an actual switch. Now, for this to work properly, if you're unaware, you have to have something connected to each side. This being one side and this being the other side. You have to have something, anything connected to both sides. And I covered it up. I shouldn't have covered it up, but down here in the ground, I have a buried small platform. There's nothing on it. You don't have to have anything on the platform. It just, this connection just has to be connected to something. So what happens when I'm toggling this way it's wanting to push all the power here, but no, it's pushing all the power here, I believe, but there's nothing to power. But the moment I give this circuit even the tiniest amount of power, 0.01 is all it's needed to run these lights. The moment this starts seeing power, those lights come on. And so you also have to make sure that the cables are running in the proper direction. You can't see it here, but both the cables, the arrows are running away from the splitter. So that means I started the cable plug from here and drew it out towards the thing it's connected to. You can do it the other way, where you draw the cable from the object to the splitter, and it won't work that way. The switches won't work that way. The power has to be coming in and leaving out both sides for the splitter to work properly. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and clean up these holes and start working on the lighting. I don't have any sort of measurement or markers, indicators on how high the lights are going to be, but I'm going to try to make them about that high off the ground, and they're just going to be as far away from each other as these cables allow. So the next one will be right there, and so on, all the way around. And so we'll finish that, and I think we're going to end up needing some more copper. All these lights here that are on the platforms are going to be up here on the walls, and I have 4 more, but I don't think that's going to be enough, so I think we're going to end up needing to trade for some more copper. And part of my setup from the other day was to go ahead and make all the other pieces of equipment. So I have all that ready to go. And if you remember, I don't remember if it was the first episode or second episode, but an earlier episode I talked about the trade platform potentially needing to see open sky. In early access, it didn't need to see it, but it's my understanding that the shuttles need to see open sky in order for them to work. And I'm wondering if the trade platform needs to see it as well. So we'll get that set up, and if it needs to see open sky, we'll modify the ceiling to provide a little chimney for it, a little opening, and we'll get some copper coming back because we have plenty of scrap. I think it was in the first episode. I ran around real quick and looked at all the stuff we have around. That'll be some good scrap right there. But there's plenty of platforms and stuff surrounding this immediate area that we can use all the stuff on it for scrap. And I think that will do it. Oh, the other thing we're going to do is probably I'd like to clean up this gray construction color and sort of return it to probably this neon green color, just to make it look a little nicer around here. So that's sort of the game plan, and we'll probably get rid of this at some point. I am considering adding a ramp back here. Man, I keep finding all these tears. I'll do a sweep outside before everything's finished up, but I am considering adding a ramp back here, just on the off chance that I need to get to the top of this to maybe clean up some seam tears or stuff like that. But that's the game plan for today. It's going to be a lot of work, but let's go ahead and get started with the time lapse. So, this is a problem. I don't believe the terrain will clip through the extenders. Yeah. So this is problematic. That was something that you were able to do in early access. Once the extenders were placed, you were able to bring the terrain back in over them, and it would clip through the extenders. But don't seem to be able to do that. So I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to tighten these holes up a little bit. And the extenders they'll just have to be visible. I think that's probably good. But the extenders are just gonna have to be visible, unfortunately. Yeah. That sucks, but I know the lights can be covered up successfully. So at least we have that going for us. And the splitters can be covered up. I wonder if they intended for the extenders to act in the same way the splitters and the lights work, but I don't know, forgot about it, or there's just some conflict there. But yeah, it looks like unfortunately we're just gonna have to leave it like that. That really sucks, but oh well. Anyways, back to the time lapse. Okay, so I have the interior walls painted, and yeah, the extenders don't seem to like you doing anything around them. Even painting around them causes them to fall off the walls. I'm wondering if they are indeed bugged. But as you can see, the inhibitor mod wasn't. It isn't perfect. It's not supposed to deform any terrain, but it kind of does. And you know, I was moving some platforms around accidentally, and you know, fortunately the lights were successfully locked into place, but right at the beginning I was sort of treating them, you know, kid gloves, you know, being very ginger around around the lights, because it's just, you know, it's a lot of work getting them up there. I didn't want to screw it up. But so right now what we're going to do is we're going to make some more terrain analyzers, and I believe we're going to make the floor of the inside this dark gray, and everything else around, you know, we may pepper in some of the dark gray, but I think we're going to go ahead and use mostly this color. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come around to, you know, these spots here and kind of round them off. I want it to look like I kind of want it to look like the igloo is sort of naturally there, or not so much naturally there, but was otherwise built without disturbing the terrain outside too much. Granted, I'm going to keep a lot of this flat stuff here, but I just want to get rid of some of these jarring drop-offs and stuff. So another thing that I wanted to note, for those of you who are watching this video way after it was released. Not even way after it was released. Uh, as of today, which is Saturday, February 23rd, 2019, as of today, in a few more days, that battery glitch that I was performing on the shredder, in a few more days, that battery glitch will be gone. And so just making use of it to facilitate a faster build at the moment. There was something called the battery glitch where you drop a small battery into a shredder and then quickly and repeatedly remove it and replace it back onto the shredder. Just take it on, or, take it off, put it on, take it on, put it off, that kind of stuff. And it creates a huge amount of scrap, and you can do it for as long as you want. The battery would start shrinking like it normally does when it gets shredded, but it's still there so long as you're performing the glitch correctly. Now, and it was a great way to generate a lot of scrap very quickly. For those of us who are more interested in building something rapidly, instead of going out and finding all the scrap. No. So that's that other glitch where it just randomly shoots you up into space. So yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and generate some scrap here. I didn't want to create a huge amount of scrap here at this base. I just wanted enough to play with while we finish up the construction here. Back on Silva, I have three extra large platforms filled with medium storages filled with scrap. So I have exploited it fairly well. But yeah, as of this video, that glitch will be going away soon. Just wanted to go ahead and make use of it. So that's what's going on there. So yeah, I am just going to go ahead and finish up laying in some more terrain and smoothing this out. And then with that sphalerite that I just traded for, we'll make some more terrain analyzers and get this stuff painted. And before I forget about it, I'm going to go ahead and remove this ramp. And we'll get back to the time lapse. Okay, so the igloo is done. Let me show you around. So the outside has a nice icy white coloration surrounded by a ring of work lights. I built a little roof access rampway up the back. I don't ever anticipate needing to come up here, but since I took away the ramp on the front, I wanted some way to get up here that wouldn't take away from the look of the igloo from the front. The terrain has been reshaped and repainted to look like the natural surroundings. And on the inside, we have a darker blue, darker ice blue interior with the power coming down from the ceiling, work lights around the perimeter, and all the pieces of equipment that you'd ever need for a base. It turns out that the trade platform does not need a clear view of the sky, though it would make sense to have some kind of chute for it to launch out of, but we're going to go ahead and leave it like that. And the floor has been painted this nice cool dark gray. And yeah, there's the completed igloo base on Atrox. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching that series, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.